Is Lilo and Stitch 2025 good? Isai, right? I'm gonna, this video's retention is going to be 2 seconds because they're going to be like, yeah, it's all right. Guys, I just want to point something out before I get into my thoughts of the movie. Check this out. So usually when I do reviews, I'll pull up like the movie on my monitor just so I can like reference actors and stuff. And two things I noticed. One, the first Google question is Lilo. No. Sorry. Wait, where'd it go? Oh yeah, no, right here. Are Lilo and Stitch about autism? What? The creators of Lilo and Stitch have not explicitly stated that Lilo is intended to represent a character on the autism spectrum. Instead, her character is designed to be a quirky, imaginative young girl dealing with personal loss. In what way did anyone think she was autistic? I mean, she's 6, but that's just weird. And second thing I noticed, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so this is Nani. This is the woman that plays Nani, Sydney Agudong. That's kind of like the Pokemon. What's the seal one? Oh no, I'm thinking of Agumon. So yeah, Sydney Agudong. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of seeing the allegations here. She's very white. However, she is not white in the movie. My girl put on some spray tan, my boys. I don't know about that. Like the rest of these people here, I'm like, yeah, I can see that Hawaiian, but that's weird. But guys, did I think the movie was good? Yes, I did enjoy the movie. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm not gonna sit here and give you all the YouTube bullshit of, it's a damn cash grab. It's a cash cow. But it was all right. I'm not gonna slob on the movie's glob and, pretend that it was some great thing. What does the movie get right? Every single scene that is like a direct reference to the original, or not reference, but if it's like an exact copy and paste, I think most of those work well. Like the beginning space scene, you're going through all the different alien designs. They look so good. The voices, I'm pretty sure, I'm not 100% certain, but the main, like the Grand Master alien, I'm pretty sure that's the same voice actress from the original one. So that's super cool. But, then you have scenes like, so they recreate a couple scenes from when they're like surfing, like when, it's Nani, Lilo, and Stitch on the surfboard. It doesn't look as good as the cartoon. And I know that you can't really help that much, but like, here's my issue, right? If you're going to take something to live action, there has to be a reason for it, and it has to look like so much better. Like, okay, so right here, I have some images of just Lilo and Stitch surfing. Now, look at this. So these are screenshots from the movie. Look how colorful the water is. Excuse my terrible internet. Good Lord, these are not loading. Look how bright the sky is. It looks fantastic. Yeah, but right here, and then comparing it to the live action one, and I know that it's realistic, and I know that this is how it actually looks, but you couldn't have turned up the contrast a little bit? You know what I mean? So all these scenes, they're done fine, but the water's just kind of gray. The sky's a little gloomy. So you don't get that same wonder that you get in the original one. You don't get that same excitement. But, let's dive into some more of the negatives because that's what you guys are here for. Nani, I think as a whole, is a big negative. In the cartoon, my fiance was telling me after the movie, Nani's a baddie. She's a baddie, dude. She don't take shit. The people come up to her, they're like, we're going to take Lilo. There's that one infamous scene where Samuel L. Jackson's character's pointing at the fire. He's like, do you think this is good for Lilo? And Nani's like about to have a panic attack. She's like freaking out. about the idea of Lilo being taken away from her. In this live action remake, they take a different approach to it, where they start off with a new character. There's this neighbor lady, and as soon as they introduce her, you can kind of tell where it's going, because the neighbor lady is just fantastic. You know, she's a great character. She's a, you know, badass grandma. You know, they got her riding up on the four-wheeler. You know, she's great. Let me look at the cast here. Yeah, it is. Where'd she? Is this? No, that's Lilo. Yeah, right here. Yeah, Amy Hill. So they introduce Amy Hill's character at the very beginning of the movie. And, you know, she's constantly giving Nani advice. She's giving her this college pamphlet saying, like, hey, you got to go to college. You got to be a marine biologist, all that stuff. And Nani's like, no, I can't because Lilo. So it's kind of obvious where it ends up going. So essentially, the social workers go up to her and they're like, we're going to take Lilo away. And instead of Nani, you know, fighting back and saying, no, Nani's, you know, we're family, Ohana, something like that. You know, I ain't leaving her behind. Instead, at the very end of the movie, the neighbor's like, well, I'll just take her in. You know, I'll take her in. Who cares? It works. Like it makes sense in like a legitimate way, like a logistical way. Like if this happened in real life, if my house burnt down and I was taking care of my younger brother and my neighbor was just awesome and we had a great relationship going on, and they were like, why don't I just take care of him for a little bit? I'd be like, dope. That's great. That's awesome. But in a movie where the whole point of their relationship is not leaving family behind, and then at the very end of the movie, they leave them behind. It's like, what are we doing here? It's odd. It's odd, but again, it works. it leaves me with a bad taste in my mouth. Aside from that, in terms of while I'm looking at the other characters here, Kaipo Do-It. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. My apologies. He plays the main love interest. I'm pretty sure his name was Dave. I forget. Yeah, he is not really in the movie. He's basically in it a tiny little bit. It's actually kind of funny because he pops up at the beginning. He's like, he's stumbling over his words because he's got a crush on Nani. And Nani just does not give a crap about him. Does not care. You know, she ignores him. And then there are just random scenes where he'll kind of just like pop up. Like the house fire happens and then he's just kind of like there. And he's just like standing next to her. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, whoa, we got a Dave jump scare here. Where the hell did he come from? It's just very odd. And then at the end of the movie, next thing you know, they're like smacking lips. Like, where'd that come from? What? They had no chemistry at all. And now they're swapping saliva? Like, all right, sure. But let's go into Nani a bit more, because I would say that aside from Lilo, obviously she's the main character. My biggest gripe with her in general, and kind of going back to the whole leaving Lilo behind at the end of the movie, is this version of Nani is a lot more cynical. She is very cynical. Like in the movie, you know, or in the cartoon, she's annoyed with Stitch, but by the end, you know, Stitch is family. At the end of this movie, it's kind of just, all right, I'll put up with Stitch. You know, it's like, I've lost the battle. I guess I'll allow Stitch to exist. Like there's a part where Stitch is drowning and it takes Nani like a good minute to go, I should probably save him. And there is a cool moment where she does save Stitch. They do this pretty tense moment where she's, you know, he's really heavy in water. So she's like running in the water with holding Stitch. Like that's cool. But just kind of aside from that moment, the whole entire film, she's just very kind of mean toward Lilo and toward Stitch. And they sort of justify it by like, oh, Stitch is, he's breaking shit. He's causing her to lose her jobs and all that. But then she takes it out on Lilo, who's just like, I don't know, playing with bottles and just playing with her new alien dog. Like, yeah, I don't know. I just wasn't a big fan of her character arc. To end off the whole Nani thing, I will say this oddly connects into the CGI. The CGI is phenomenal. I want a plush of this Stitch. They made him look so soft and adorable. I love it. But there's one part where it looks so bad. So they save Stitch, and Lilo goes in to hug Stitch. And let me just preface this, guys. I'm a hater of kid actors. I think they all do bad. But yo, shout out to Maya Kealoha. Yo, God tier Hawaiian name. Yo, check this out. God tier. Maya Kaloha. God, I cannot say that stuff. That's a great Hawaiian last name. Just aloha. Anyway, she did an amazing job. Like, seriously. So good. Half of the scene, she is in this entire movie. Like, practically every scene. In every scene, she's working with nothing. Maybe they gave her like a stuffed animal or something. But like there's scenes where, they're in the car and Stitch is like crawling across her and she's reacting like he's really there. Like it's honestly incredible. Like, again, I don't know how old she actually is. Let's see. It does not say. Well, okay. Well, she's 6 in the film. And I imagine that they maybe had like some puppet like crawling over her or something. This scene stands out specifically because like, Stitch goes over her shoulder. She's like, oh, and then she taps her shoulder and it looks realistic. It looks like something actually crawling across her. And you can tell that they did a lot of work to really make this work. But Nani doesn't really interact with Stitch at all. And there's one moment in the end where Lilo's hugging Stitch. Nani goes down to pet Stitch. And I kid you not, if you guys are going to go see this movie, really pay attention to this. Nani goes in to pet Stitch and brushes her hand on thin air. It is nowhere near Stitch. How did that stay in? Like, she's nowhere near him. And she like pets thin air. And then they're just like, all right, next scene. I'm like, wait a minute. You couldn't have, no one noticed that? Or maybe they did and they were just like, no one's going to notice. Well, I noticed. Because I look for this kind of stuff, I've seen Spy Kids 3 too many times to not notice these kinds of things, all right? But let's move on to other characters. How are the other people? We got Jumba. We got Pleakley. My boy Pleakley has been downgraded. The drag queen, no. The drag king himself has been downgraded. Instead of wearing god tier drag outfits, for some reason, Disney was like, that's a little too woke. Instead, Pleakley, in his human form, can wear a gay outfit. It's sure, whatever. I'm just saying, you dethroned a king. Nah. Billy Magnuson, I believe is his name, did a fantastic job. Yeah, he did a really good job. He was a fun guy. Zach Galifianakis, obviously, I didn't know he was in this movie, but I thought him being a replacement for Jumba, I had to get used to the voice, but really great job. I would say by his like second scene, I was used to him. And I will say, obviously, another weird thing is, they turn into humans. Obviously, that is something where they're like, okay, look, there's only so much budget, right? So it's either all going to go into Stitch or Stitch is going to look a little worse. And then we can have Jumba and Pleakley as aliens the whole time. I'll take the good looking Stitch if Jumba and Pleakley are humans for most of the film. So that's fine. And they play around decently well with it. Like there are moments where, you know, they swap between human and alien at points that make sense. Like when they're, you know, by themselves, they'll be the aliens or the humans. It works. It works. And I will say, obviously, in the original, you had the other main villain. That one is not in this one. I forget his name, but he was the killer whale guy. He's not in this one. And I thought that was going to irritate me. It really didn't. It was kind of just whatever. I think Jumba was fine. I think that their character arcs work in terms of extending them to making Jumba the main antagonist. I think it works. All right, I'm rambling too long. If you watch this movie on its own, if you have not seen the original, honestly, there really aren't issues with the film. It is fine. It is a good movie. It is a solid film. Do I highly recommend it? No, not really. Like, yeah, it's good, but it's definitely something where I'd say throw it on Disney Plus. You know, throw it on in the background. If you have kids, it's definitely worth a watch. I think it is obviously one of the best done Disney live actions. That is a very low bar, though, okay? Because honestly, now that I'm looking over all my notes, every single issue that I have, aside from some CGI stuff, every single issue has to do with a movie that came out in 2002 that did it better. So if you want to watch Lilo and Stitch, the original is there. It's done better. The characters are better. This movie does some things incredible. Lilo is fantastic, but things like Nani, she just ain't doing it. And I would say, honestly, the soundtrack is better than the original. They add a couple extra Hawaiian songs in this one, that's fine, but the only good songs are ones that are pulled from the original. This is a solid 6 out of 10. It is a perfectly above average, 5 being average. It is an above average film. I think it does the job, and it does it damn well. They did the best that they could, aside from Nani. I'm a Nani hater. All right, look, she was a baddie in the original, so I'm not going to take this disrespect. All right, 6 out of 10 for the movie. I would say maybe wait to see it on Disney Plus. But if you got kids that are excited, just go watch it. It's worth a watch regardless. Thank you guys so much for watching. I apologize for the delay in films, reviews, and all that stuff. I just moved into my new place, new apartment, so more content coming soon every single week. Check out my live streams. I got a Stitch horror game that I'm going to play, so that'll be fun. But anyways, I shall see you guys next week. Oh yeah, make sure to subscribe and all that stuff. I appreciate it. Helps me keep doing this. So thank you. Appreciate it. See ya.